Welcome to another episode of the Brother Son Anime Pod. I'm going to let my fellow hosts introduce themselves, then I'll do myself. Please go ahead.
Okay. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Flossy B93. That's all socials. You already know what it is. BS Naruto anime degree. See what I'm sporting. You know what we on about. Yeah. Oh yeah.
What up, everybody? It's Klepto. Good to see y'all again.
I'm still going with Black Jack, Kung Fu Panda.
Mike Jack.
Yep. AKA love it, man.
Final host, this is Tiggity T. Let's get into it. So, first things first, we have got to discuss Daima. We have all been watching it, with the exception of Mr. Flossy B.
Fortunately,
we've been getting into Daima, and let me tell you, it is fire. That's the first thing we're going to discuss on today's episode. Love and Main, please give me your take on Dragon Ball Daima.
Dang, where do I start? I remember one of our last conversations where we were talking about them being able to them being properly limited in their powers because they're small. And I am proud to say that I was correct on that one, and they have no limitations because I healed beasted. Did y'all see Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? It brought a tear to my eye that they let him do that.
I'm glad that Toriyama quit picking on him. Let him have one.
Yeah, making that canon was good.
His version
gave him resurrection hell.
His version of it was dope too. I like the way they did his hair for it. It was clean.
I'm so glad they're dubbing it now too, because I can't wait to see who's going to be the kid Vegeta voice trying to go Super Saiyan 3. That's going to be epic. Like, the sub is good. I'm not knocking the sub. I know I normally do. But even on the Japanese voices, hype.
I just hope they keep like a grown man for Piccolo. I don't want to hear like a little pipsqueak Piccolo. I just want to see a pipsqueak Piccolo talking like a grown ass man. Yeah.
Oh.
We need to stop. Yeah.
Why do you still sound like that?
When you said that, I immediately pictured him going up to the older Namekian from the Demon Realm and just being like, I'm the nameless Namekian. French fried tenders. That's what I picture when I think of Piccolo talking in a grown man voice to other Namekians as a kid.
But yes, indeed, I am hyped for Daima to see how the rest of it turns out. I can't wait to see the rest of it come out, and yeah, I'm hyped for it.
Klepto, please give me your take. I'm super pumped.
Daima so far has been good. It's exceeded expectations. Granted, my expectations were pretty low going into it, but that was on purpose. But it's exceeded expectations, and I'm into the story. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
For me, I think I had kind of a weird taste in my mouth from GT when they talked about timeline, and being that GT was similar chronology, even though it's not canon. I think that I expected GT stuff, GT plot, and was very happily surprised to see them introduce new characters, to see them, using older characters. And to me, it's Dragon Ball with Piccolo and Vegeta being on Team Goku. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and the fight with the Tamagamis is, oh man, spoiler alert. Flossy B, compromiso maestro.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna go watch
Tamagami fights, next level. My man's Goku was like, do you not understand? I'll whip out the Super Saiyan on your ass. Like, don't get it twisted. I will go blonde, blue-eyed, and wreck your whole life. You don't want it. Just stay away. And then he was like, cool. After you done whoop my ass, now I'm gonna hide the Dragon Ball. Goku's like, yeah, that's all right. It's not even over here. It's back there, bud. Don't worry about it. Can't trick me. I'm a Saiyan. Get it right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to get into this.
Oh man,
It's good, bro.
Ooh, you will be happily surprised, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to throw you off, though, because there's only three Dragon Balls for the
Demon Realm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They did something similar in the Super manga chapter where we got introduced to Goku, not Goku, Frieza Black.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the Granola arc.
Yes, they only had, was it 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was only 2 Dragon Balls.
Dragon.
For that. Mm-hmm. So
Which
that's
is
interesting.
I'm just happy we're getting to see more Namekians. Like, Namek arc, Dragon Ball Z for me was like, I was like, oh man, this is so great. Like, finally something other than just Saiyans. Like, something other than just, like, regular people. Like, cool, another race. Like, it takes world building to an entirely different level. And I think that's what makes Daima so cool, is that there's elaborate world building and thought that went into it. Whereas GT, Dragon Ball Grand Tour, I was not happy to see Trunks and shorts. That was whack.
You wasn't happy to see Trunks and Trunks?
Oh no, absolutely not.
I feel like even Future Trunks looked like, in Dragon Ball Super, I feel like even Future Trunks looked like a big wuss. Like, compared to when you saw Cell arc and you saw like Trunks step out of the hyperbolic time chamber, the room of spirit and time, with his dad, and he walks out and his hair's just long as hell, got it up in a ponytail, rocking the sword, and his arms are just like, the sleeves are all torn off and stuff. He's like, yeah, what? I got big beefy Super Saiyan ready to lay on somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
Frieza
that to me was cool.
We didn't want to catch it.
What did he say?
Now, moving on to our next segment. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a death battle episode. We selected ones that we thought would be the most hyped to talk about, that would create the most beneficial conversations, that we would have the most fun talking about. And for your viewing pleasure, these are the ones we came up with. I'm going to name them all, and then we're going to begin to go down the list and discuss each. So starting off, we have the first 5 Kage from the Hidden Leaf versus Madara Uchiha, Obito Uchiha, Itachi Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha, and Sasuke Uchiha. Then we have Beast Gohan versus Ultra Ego Vegeta. We then have Kaido from the Wano arc of One Piece versus an awakened Doflamingo. And lastly, Yusuke Urameshi from the Chapter Black arc of Yu Yu Hakusho versus Vigilante Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia. With that being said, we're going to launch into the massacre first, and I call it a massacre because that's exactly what it is. Love and Maiden, please give me your take on the first 5 Hokage, versus the Uchiha.
Not really versed in it. I would be the worst one to start off with, but I mean, just giving what I do know, it's really don't need all 5 Uchiha to actually go against them. That's what I do know right off the bat. I mean, if you even want to pick it, and we said everybody in prime, correct?
Mm-hmm. Everybody at peak
Everybody
fighting.
at peak. So you can just send Sasuke at peak and Obito, and that's a done deal. But if you just wanted to get it over really quick, you can go ahead and just say Madara and Obito and just leave it at that.
That would have been filthy.
You know what? I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want to say that and get in trouble with my brother nor YouTube. So
Yes, let's not do that.
I was gonna say the last thing you gonna hear is
no. Let's not say we did. All right, Klepto, please tell me, this is your scenario that you suggested. I'm so hyped to hear your take on this. Give me first 5 Hokage
Honestly,
versus the Uchiha.
I don't think it's as one-sided as y'all are making it out to be honest. I do think the 5 Uchiha listed are clearly the strongest in the history of their clan, but these 5 Kage ain't no slouches either. Like, we just got through talking about Madara versus Hashirama, which Madara lost. He didn't
This
win.
is true.
He lost.
Okay, but that wasn't at his peak
He
either. If we're
lost. Yeah, he
talking
was.
peak, hold on, time out. Peak Madara is Jinchuriki, Ten Tails Madara.
No. That's Madara.
Whoa!
We're not talking
Jesus.
We're not talking post.
We said
Madara
peak.
died.
No.
Madara
We
died.
said peak.
Did Madara live a life and die? Yes. So at his peak, when he died, he did not have Rinnegan. He had Sharingan.
Actually, he didn't die. He
BS
didn't die in the
degrees.
fight.
He didn't die until later on in life. But
Right, and when he did die, he did have
He-
Rinnegan.
peak fighting form, he did not have Rinnegan.
That's true.
Peak fighting form, he did not have Rinnegan. So
He did have contracted Ninetales though, which was
yeah, he did.
fucking insane.
And Woodstyle was fucking him up.
Okay, I'll grant you, hold on, time out. I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that.
Uh-huh.
I'll grant you what you just said, that Woodstyle messed Madara up something fierce when they fought. I'm still disagreeing on the contention.
To
that you're
continue.
using-
To continue. Second
Go ahead.
Hokage, also well versed in fighting Uchiha. Third Hokage, also well versed in fighting Uchiha. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, is a genius in his right all on his own. Only one Uchiha in the village during his time could fuck with him. One out of an entire clan of Uchiha could fuck with him. Now, when we get to Tsunade, then you can start to make your she gets washed. But even Tsunade, you gotta put respect. I mean, she's still the best medical ninja.
I mean, you're gonna bandage me to death.
Wow. Anyway.
No, that's not. That's not.
I'm just kidding.
Is that
No.
the fight is as one-sided as y'all make it out to be? Yes. The Uchiha are very top-heavy team. However, it could go either way in my eyes.
Okay.
Interesting.
Flossy B, let me know what it could be.
I mean, you see the hat, you know what I'm gonna say. And it's no slight to the first five Kage, but the lineup they're going against, everyone has either Mangekyo Sharingan or an Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. One Uchiha has a Rene Sharingan. All of them are able to perform Susanoo or Perfect Susanoo. Two of them specifically are able to use Amaterasu. One of them specifically is able to use flame control over their Amaterasu. And then the one I think is actually the most problematic, which is Shisui himself, has a Genjutsu that will rewrite your life. And you won't know you're under it. So my concern with that level of top heaviness is, while Tobirama and Hashirama are well equipped at fighting, especially Mangekyo Sharingan and Sharingan users, where their expertise falls off at is that if this is a situation where they've come back to life, they've been dead too long. We still have a Sasuke who is versed in several ninjutsu, including Kakashi's lightning blade and different variations of that. It's going to be hard to speed blitz him specifically, just off of his visual prowess. Granted, I think the fourth Hokage would be able to do it, but now he has to contend with Shisui and Obito, who are comparable in regards to time-space ninjutsu. They may not be as fast, but they are both experts at it. And Obito, if he was just a second faster, would have caught him. I think if it's team battle versus team battle, it's leaning heavier towards the Uchiha. But what would separate or what would make the difference, in my opinion, is two of the Hokage can use Sage Mode. One of them has mastered all 5 chakra natures outside of light and dark. The second Hokage is responsible for most of the forbidden ninjutsu, Fourth Hokage, of course, has Uzumaki sealing ninjutsu, and the fifth Hokage, Tsunade, is again the foremost, best expert medical ninja outside of her grandfather, and they're on the same team. So this is going to be like a war of attrition almost. Who's going to have the stamina to outlast the other side? And I can see where, in that context, the Hokage would win under like mass duress and mass casualty, but Uchihas aren't known for their stamina at all. So,
with that being said, let me ask this. Because I know you said that because Madara had died and then was reborn due to Edo Tensei and then became Ten Tails Jinchuriki, could the argument be made that Obito is the Ten Tails Jinchuriki at his peak?
Obito at
because he was still alive. He never died before becoming the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. So I just want to know before I give my opinion if that's acceptable.
The problem is, I don't want to amp Obito to end of series. He was already peak Obito outside of Madara's Rinnegan and the Ten Tails is still the head of the Akatsuki. Like peak Obito with one Sharingan
was still top dog.
Was still top dog, making Naruto, Kakashi, and everyone else look really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Naruto had to talk no jutsu him.
And it still didn't work until the close to the end. The only out for Obito was Itachi, and they're on the same team. So I'm assuming this is an Itachi that fully betrayed the village, and sided with his clan, which would alter some story elements a bit, but it would give more perspective to an Itachi who's not holding back, and he's not sick because we said peak. So now I'm concerned with Totsuka Blade and Yadamir, which is unique to only Itachi. This is going to be a ridiculous fight, 100%. I'm still leaning Uchiha solely because they have people like Shisui and Itachi. Sasuke, Obito, Madara, those are their damage dealers. But if we're talking strategy-wise, Shisui and Itachi, they're up there with the fourth. And that would make the difference. Hachirama, Tobirama, of course, they're legendary in their own right, and they can deal with Uchihas, but they've never fought a team of Uchihas who all have Mangekyo. They fought Madara and his brothers, but they've never worn stage period.
Mangekyo.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. And we're not even talking like Tsukiyomi, Koto Matsukami. Like, this can get real bad for the Leaf Village real fast. It's a matter of how long can the Hokages last. So, because if they can outlast them on stamina, the Uchiha gonna fall back because all that costs chakra.
I think it's gonna come down to, for me personally, with assuming that Obito does not have access to the Ten Tails Jinchuriki form.
Because that's
just going off of, that would be busted. That would be just not necessary. That would be the equivalent of Madara and Edo Tensei. It's like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah, like, how are we supposed to stop him?
Yeah. But with that being said, what I'll say is this. For me, I give it to the Uchiha, and I'll tell you why. Hashirama fought Madara to a standstill. Like, it wasn't like just a ass whooping one way or the other.
No, they were equal, essentially.
Exactly. Then you have Obito, who, while Minato is versed in, the time space jutsu, he's relevant, he's of that and he's a genius, so he can comprehend it. The other Kage, for me personally, even though the second did come up with the Flying Raijin, I don't think that he has that level of mastery to he's not pulling a Minato and putting a Rasengan in somebody's back. Even if he had access to the jutsu, he's just not, in my opinion. Granted, we don't have enough footage, or from what I have seen, of Tobirama going in 1v1s to really clarify that. But I just can't envision a Tobirama putting on somebody like Obito. Go ahead.
Can I make a small caveat to that?
Go ahead.
They did have to get 100 S-class ninja and over, I think it was over 1,000 A-class ninja to fight Tobirama from the Cloud Village. It was Ginkaku and Kinkaku. This is how they died. They ended up killing Tobirama, but it took 3 days, and he was by himself. So
that's fair. And he came up with the Shadow Clone, so that makes sense. I can be with that. But the other Uchiha being present is a problem. Like Itachi's Genjutsu and Shisui's Genjutsu. I mean, Flossy B said it best himself. You know, Shisui's Genjutsu is next level, even amongst Uchiha, because you're not aware you're under the Genjutsu. Now, whether that would apply to the Kage, there's a discussion to be had there. I'll concede that.
I would say
I don't think Tsunade's breaking out of that Genjutsu.
No, I don't think any of them are, because that was the Genjutsu that was supposedly going to save the clan. That's why Danzo stopped. He wanted Chisui's eyes, because that was the other option. Besides kill everyone, was put him under Kodo Matsukami.
And then I will say, though, for the argument for the Kage, if Hashirama and Tsunade are able to keep their allies alive until Uchiha's stamina runs out, absolutely, Kage have it. But I just don't see that being the case, because
it'd be a tall order.
We're talking about some heavy taijutsu users on the other side, and while Tsunade is not weak at all, but she's just not on that taijutsu level. She's not moving at those level of speeds.
Tsunade's just her biggest thing, because Tsunade is a support role essentially, but I would argue that whilst her strength is incredible and that's what puts her in like a point of contention, she's comparable to her grandfather strength wise, but
not speed.
No, he's not nearly fast enough to deal with 5 Uchiha who have full-on visual prowess and one who's mastered lightning nature chakra to the point to where he can grab a lightning bolt off the sky. Like that's kind of crazy. Granted, I don't think she died, because I'm almost convinced that she can't, but it would take such a toll. Like this would be one of those landscape changing kind of fights. And other people would get caught up in it, and it would be really bad. So I that's why I said if it's a team on team thing, and it's Itachi and Shisui's intellect versus Minato's, I don't know if it's enough chess moves on Minato's side, because I mean it would be like him and Tobirama who would kind of organize the team, but like that would be really ridiculous, because what are the counters to like Yatamir and Tosca Blade? Of course, the first Hokage has like.
Do you think Hiruzen has anything in his arsenal with 1,000 jutsu mastered to be able to hold his own?
He has enough to counter like the differences in chakra nature for regular jutsu, like regular fire style. Him and Tobirama will handle that no problem. The lightning style, he can handle that. I definitely think Hiruzen will be like the Joker card on the Hokage side, because a lot of people, like, they know he's the professor, but we didn't get to see Hiruzen in his prime. I feel like Hiruzen in his prime was handpicked by the second Hokage, and he's adept at dealing with ninja of this level, but he's never fought 5 Mangekyo Sharingan users at the same time. So I'm in my estimation, I'm trying to cultivate all of their like battle IQ and experience versus one another. And the issue I'm running into is consistently like the Uchihas have an answer in some form or fashion. It's like a hacks answer, but it's an answer.
It's a hacks answer.
Yeah, most definitely, because Sharingan is broken. But if they didn't have that, Like, let's say we're talking about a fatigued Uchiha team versus the 5 Kage. Oh, they're stomping them. Especially when they start pulling out summoning jutsu. That toad come out, that's it.
Now we're going to move on to Toyotaro's masterpiece. A Beast Gohan versus Ultra Ego Vegeta. So essentially, we're talking. Now I'm going to clarify so that we make sure we get it all 100% correct right now. I'm specifically talking about a Beast Gohan from the movie, not the manga, from Dragon Ball Super Superhero versus a Ultra Ego Vegeta. And I have to use the manga for this only because it hasn't been animated yet, but an Ultra Ego at the end of the Granola arc. So he's got time in with Ultra Ego. Now, Love It Main, I would love to hear your take on this.
Not versus. I truly don't know any. I don't like Super, so I don't know much about it at all.
Okay.
But
if you had to take a guess,
I would probably still give it to Vegeta only because his battle IQ to me and his history of fighting and you just gave him God Key pretty much. Like, come on, bro. I really
not just God Key. God of Destruction Hakai energy.
That's right. Yeah, that is a whole lot different.
That's true.
So just with that being said, I would give it to Vegeta, but I mean I'm not gonna sleep on Gohan. I just not well versed in what Beats can really do.
Understood. Klepto, let me hear it. I know you got a good one. Come on. Let me hear that.
I wish we were doing manga because Beast Gohan in the manga is way stronger than Beast Gohan in the movie. But since we're doing like manga Vegeta versus Beast Gohan in the movie, I'm going Vegeta. I'm going Vegeta.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you'll have to explain it to me because after watching and rewatching the movie, after reading and rewatching and rereading the chapters, I can't see how Beast Gohan in the movie is stronger than Beast Gohan fighting Ultra Instinct Goku.
I'll make the clarification. I'll make the clarification.
But yeah, I'm going Vegeta, Ultra Ego Vegeta. Specifically because at that point in time, Granola was the strongest person in the universe because of the wish he made.
But Gohan didn't have Beast then.
So that's where I stand.
True. Okay. Flossy B, let me have your take.
I am leaning towards Beast Gohan, specifically because Ultra Ego
sense. No, I'm just kidding.
Ultra Ego is a double-edged sword for Vegeta. Whilst he does get stronger based off the damage he takes, he also has to tank the damage. And from what we saw with Beast Gohan in the movie, his damage output is very focused. A special beam cannon is ridiculous. Never thought he would pull that out the bag at all, but he did.
You didn't see that coming?
I mean, look, I understand the Piccolo Gohan connection, right? That's his second father. You know, he trained him. I thought that was beautiful and loved it. However, I assume the technique of that caliber requires intense focus, and that's not something Saiyans do. So for Beast Gohan to pull that out and be like, this is my finisher? Bruh, you mean you're able to manipulate your ki to a point, whereas we're used to seeing Saiyans do it in a burst. It was interesting. I also think that Beast Gohan well, no. I have to clarify that because this is Beast Gohan from the movie we're talking about. Beast Gohan from the movie is not the same as current Beast Gohan. So I do think actually the logical answer would be Vegeta, but it would be a hard fought fight specifically because of Vegeta's needing to tank damage to get stronger.
If this was manga Gohan, I would have said Gohan.
That's what I was thinking too.
I'm gonna explain why it's movie. I'm gonna explain why it's movie Beast Gohan. Because I've read all of Dragon Ball Super, and I've watched all the movies, and I read all the guidebooks. So I'm about to break it down for you when you're ready.
Real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. That's essentially the consensus. That's why I was like,
real quick. First off, Detroit, welcome to the podcast. And he's
welcome to the podcast.
And he said, no one fucks with OG Goku. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I love it. Goku. All right. Kakarot. No, I'm just kidding. So I'll break it down for you. Absolutely, you have to understand that when you're going to compare the anime, or in this case, the movie, to the manga, if you compare the events of Superhero from the manga to the movie, right? Mm-hmm. Now, granted, obviously, further down in the story, he does face Goku with Ultra Instinct. But the caveat to that is that's further down the timeline. So that fight hasn't been animated yet, so it could take a different turn, okay, right, in the anime. And with that being said, in the manga, Gohan, even in his beast form, had to struggle while fighting Cell Max. When he did it in the movie, there was no struggle.
That's true.
No struggle. He was like, "This is what you got, big boy? Because you got nothing. There's nothing here. Don't worry about it. I'm about to pack you a lunch because you're done. Stick a fork in you. You're done." With that being said, the Mahanko Sapo, the special beam cannon, is a very focused blast, as Flossy B mentioned. And Saiyans, specifically with Goku and Vegeta, using the Gallic Gun and with using the Kamehameha Wave, there's a lot of lost energy. But Saiyans are flashy. They do flashy stuff. Heard, no problem. And if Gohan was using Kamehameha Waves on Vegeta to try and build up his damage, you might have it. I think Ultra Ego would outlast Vegeta within that realm of thinking. However, we're talking about a Gohan that can do the Mahanko Sapo, and based on how the movie progressed, at the point when Cell Max was there, Gohan was the upper echelon. Because it's stated not just in the guidebooks, not in just the reviews that were done about the movie, but Goku and Vegeta would have struggled against Cell Max. Piccolo said it himself, and Piccolo is a very accurate judge of power levels and assessing other threats. Piccolo does not overestimate himself or his opponents, and he does not overestimate strength. And he's probably one of the people that I think trains the most diligently with regards to sensing ki, because he has to be the adult of the group. He's the dad, essentially, because he had to be a father to Gohan. So within that realm of thinking, Piccolo is absolutely the maximum strategical thinker. And with that in mind, he even said that Goku and Vegeta would have struggled. Now, granted, he's relying on the last information he had with them, which prior to Superhero would have been the events of Moro Arc. Because that's the last time he really had them within his realm and was able to gauge their power.
Right.
So he was aware of Ultra Instinct Sutono and still thinks that Gohan would have washed him at that point. And
good question.
Again,
can Piccolo sense God Ki?
So at the time when his power level, or at the time when the Dragon Balls awakened his form, it has not been confirmed whether or not he can or cannot sense God Ki. However, he can absolutely sense the pressure coming off of them and the pressure coming off of Gohan, and it wasn't close.
Interesting.
Had it not, he specifically said, had it not been for Gohan, they would all be dead.
Interesting.
And that was a contention that he maintained both in the movie and in the manga. That it would have been a struggle, both in the manga and in the movie, if they had been there. Now, at that point, I don't think Piccolo was aware that Vegeta had Ultra Ego. So he may not be aware of that to allow that to come into play. But with that being said, a base, so Ultra Ego, just transformed, I'm ready to fight, let's go Gohan. Gohan is absolutely Mahanko's. Now, granted, there's a build-up time, for sure, but it's much shorter than Piccolo's time has ever been when firing the Mahanko Sappo.
Very true.
With the exception of when he used it against Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. This is the time when he was able to shorten the amount of time it takes him to fire off the Mahanko Sappo. I still think Gohan Beast is going to have plenty of time to enact the Mahanko Sappo before the only counter to that would be if Ultra Ego Vegeta was able to entirely cloak himself in Hakai, which has not been shown. He can do it to blast individually, but cloaking himself in it the way Beerus does, he's not versed enough in Hakai energy to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So he would have to specifically put the energy in his hand and block the hit. And I just don't foresee him being able to block that amount of energy, because an enormous amount of energy can overwhelm Hakai's. We saw it in the Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
Because Vegeta was able to do it exactly. And with all that in mind, that's why I come up with the conclusion that Beast Gohan would win. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't be an amazing fight. I'm not saying that Vegeta wouldn't put in work, because he's definitely not getting dog walked. I'll say that. It's not with Ultra Ego, it's not gonna be, I think it would be a more significant tie than in the manga when Beast Gohan fought Ultra Instinct Goku. I think it would be closer than that. And I say that because even with Ultra Instinct, Goku still really couldn't overcome Beast. And that's a Gohan that doesn't have access to God Ki yet. Granted, in the movie, he still doesn't either. But the fact that he was able to do that sort of work on an Ultra Instinct Goku, fighting at top level, because he knows who his son is. He's not a scrub. He knows he's going to have to put in work to beat that man. Vegeta just doesn't have, in my opinion, now, it would be entirely different if Vegeta didn't waste his time only learning Spirit Fishing during the events of the Moral Arc. I think, hold on, let me bust this out real quick. If he had taken the time to learn Instant Transmission, we'd be having an entirely different discussion, because Gohan would not. He didn't learn Instant Transmission. He only used it to be able to make that one-time teleport. He said, I'm not learning this technique. I just need to use it this one time. That's what he said in the manga.
I did see that panel.
So with that being said, if he had spent the time to learn Instant Transmission, we'd be having an entirely different discussion. Gohan would not be able to touch him, because the only times he would be able to put work in on Vegeta is when Vegeta's trying to get the damage, when he's trying to soak it up. So he'll take the hits, but he's not taking a Mahanko Sappo, because at Instant Transmission, I'm going to Instant Transmission out of the way before you're able to touch me with your Mahanko Sappo. Now, Cell Max didn't use the Instant Transmission because we're not talking about as intelligent as an individual. By making Cell Max so powerful, he was less intelligent. He didn't have the same cognizance. There was some sort of innate battle IQ due to, I think, the DNA that he had at the time, but he also had Broly's DNA. There was Broly DNA within Cell Max.
Say that he hadn't finished developing when he blew out of because the machine blew up, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No. So
he was 100%.
So he was already at 100% strength, but what he didn't have was in the same set. Spoiler alert: in Daima, they went for controllability over power. So Majin, I think it's Majin Ku is the first one we see. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe so. I think it's true.
Okay, so when they originate Majin Ku within Daima, which is a 99-cent version of Majin Buu, he's not nearly as strong. Now, granted, he also didn't have within him the Grand Supreme Kai, and he hadn't absorbed people the same way Majin Buu did. He was just ready to go. We're talking about trying to think of the right way to phrase this. If Vegeta had learned instant transmission, Gohan's not landing a hit. It's just not happening. And because there's not going to be enough time between the instant transmission for him to pop it off. And Vegeta is absolutely smarter than Goku, with the slight exception being in battle IQ. I mean, Goku is an absolute certifiable genius when it comes to battle IQ. The man misses far less than Vegeta does.
Yeah.
Because he knew going into the Cell fight he wasn't going to win. He knew that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Vegeta, even though Piccolo contradicted this in the anime, constantly underestimates his opponents.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas Goku's like, cool, I'm just gonna work it up the ladder. We're gonna start off with base and then progress forward. Vegeta's like, nah, we're starting off at 100% and you're gonna get these hands and I'm gonna put in work because I am the Prince of all Saiyans.
All right.
Come on.
Detroit actually has weighed in on some of this conversation, so I'm just gonna read the comments from.
Absolutely.
So he say both the movie and the manga have great things and bad things about them. When you was giving that explanation earlier, and he say, even though we've seen what each character can do, we truly don't know the actual extent of their true power, or what they are truly capable of. And that's the other thing. We don't know if they are using 100% of their power or not.
I would agree with that, with the one exception of that being when Beast Gohan fought Ultra Instinct Goku, they were both going at 100%.
Yes.
They were not pulling their punches.
That's why Beerus is worried they'd destroy the planet.
Yeah, Beerus is not about to let them go easy on each other. He's gonna be like, listen, if you're just gonna play on my planet, I'll destroy you both. So I do agree with Detroit on the comments made. I definitely, because even Vegeta confirmed it, Tournament of Power. He was like, you really think that Goku's not gonna master this before the end? Like, you've seen us break our limits time and time again. Do you really think that's not possible? And sat that other god of destruction down and was like, sit down, buddy. You just don't know us. But I mean, a Beast Gohan pushing Ultra Instinct Goku manga is crazy. You don't have God Ki, and you're pushing a man with God Ki and an Angel technique.
Does Ultra Instinct utilize God Ki?
No.
So Ultra Instinct is not it's not
a form.
It's not.
I know it's not a form. But because it's not a form, it doesn't power. Because it's not a form, and it's only a technique, and he's able to apply it to his other forms, it does not necessitate God Ki. If it necessitated God Ki, he would not be able to use it in base, and he wouldn't be able to use it in Super Saiyan. Right.
Because he's able to use it in those forms, it does not necessitate God Ki. Otherwise, he'd only be able to go blue.
Right. I didn't think
be a Super Saiyan God. No, you're good.
I'm just opening the door to the possibility to him using it with God Ki.
No, that's a fair question. I do want to say for the record that when my man Gohan finally gets off his high horse and gets some God Ki in him.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Goku who? Vegeta who?
Yeah.
Like, Beerus better be shaking them boots, because if Gohan wanted, he might be able to take on the champ.
Well,
now, we haven't seen Beerus go 100%.
We said it when he saw Gohan in Beast. He was like, "Oh, he'd make a great candidate for God of Destruction." And then Beerus was like, "What is that form?" And he was like, "Oh no, that's not God Ki. He did that by himself. That's all him." And I instantly was like, "Ooh, don't let him get none. Don't let him get none."
And that's a 20,000 multiplier. And if he's already putting in work on Goku with no God Ki, you give that man God Ki and get him a 20,000 multiplier, bury him. Bury Goku in Vegeta.
House. He could be at Jiren house. Come on, open the door.
Next one.
Open the door. I just want to talk.
Next one.
Give me your comb, bro.
Next one.
Go ahead. All right. Moving on to the next scenario, we have Kaido from One Piece in the Wano arc versus an awakened Don Quixote Doflamingo. Love it, man. Give me your take.
So, quick question. Is Don Flamingo awoken, or this is pretty much purely somewhat of a what if?
No, we're talking about an awoken Doflamingo. So he's able to turn his... Go ahead.
When you say awoken, are you referring to his devil fruit being awoken? Because it already is.
Yes.
Okay. So
everything he did when fighting Luffy was him awakened already. That was all his ability.
He showed a difference to Luffy when he said he can make anything into string, and then he started doing that. That was its awakened form.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure I have my information correct. Okay.
Yeah, he awakened during the Luffy fight, is what my understanding was.
So with that being said, and with everything that I can possibly remember, I'm still going to say Kaido, but it's going to be a very scarred up Kaido.
Okay.
Strings do damage, bro.
They do. It's not that they don't.
I'm not saying he's going to
I'm not saying they don't.
I'm not going to say he's just going to end up with a bunch of war wounds. I'm just saying he's going to be like, you're down.
Maybe. So the only thing we saw that would cut Kaido was Oda's sword and
Zoro.
Zoro using that I don't remember what it's called. Yes, Odin's blade and that flame sword technique he stole from them to cut Kaido. And whilst it cut him, it was shallow. It made his scar hurt, but we didn't actually see Kaido bleed until Luffy hit Gear 5. So my worry is that whilst Dofi is awakened, so is Kaido, and he's a mythical. Dang, why is my One Piece out by the brain right now? He's a mythical Paramecia? Am I saying that right? Klepto? Is that the right?
His mythical zone. His is mythical zone too.
He's a mythical going, and his is awakened too. I don't know what Dofi would do with a Thunder Bagua.
But could a Thunder Bagua break through the birdcage?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I was actually
going to make it through the birdcage.
I think
because it's infused with conquerors.
Yeah, I think where the fight really gets interesting and kind of where I want to jump straight into is birdcage. We're talking birdcage versus Dragon's Breath, birdcage versus just the dragon that is Kaido. Now, birdcage gives Doflamingo options. It basically at that point becomes a race against time. How fast Kaido can take Doflamingo down before the birdcage closes, or the birdcage comes to a point where it can damage him. So I still take Kaido, but the birdcage would cause a lot of issues. It's not like Doflamingo wouldn't have options to hurt Kaido or try to put himself in an advantageous position. I just feel like without birdcage, there's just no hope. With birdcage, he might still lose, but it'd be a lot closer.
I think that the difference in their ability to control Conqueror's Haki would be the deciding factor, because this is a Kaido that uses the same technique Luffy used to hurt Kaido internally. Yeah, Kaido
didn't use Ryuo. Kaido had what Shanks has, and it's advanced Conqueror's Haki application. Pretty much what it is
Wi-Fi
what the lore tells you. Not necessarily, but what the lore tells you about how Haki powers things, how they built things out of Haki or control things with Haki. That's advanced Conqueror's Haki application. That is what Kaido has. What Luffy learned is specific to Wano.
Yeah, I'm saying Kaido learned that too. He was able to. He definitely did. He was able to repel a lot of Luffy's Rio attacks with the same application of Conqueror's Haki.
I'll have to rewatch that because I don't remember him repelling shit.
That's what all the sparking was.
He ate them hoes. I don't remember him repelling nothing.
He ate some of them, definitely.
I think that my response to that, Flossy B, would be that if Kaido had access to Ryo, Plot would not have been able to save Luffy.
Facts.
I don't
Luffy
think
would not have been able to come back.
save Luffy. He didn't come back. I think he was dead. No, legitimately, Luffy was dead. His Beaver card was burnt up and everything. Buddy was gone.
But his awakening saved him.
Yes.
At seconds.
Reunited his heart with the
drums of liberation, and he became a Haitian.
Okay.
I think Luffy legitimately lost that fight, and then his devil fruit was like, "Nah, it's time, Joy Boy."
I mean, plot armor, bro.
I mean,
I still think that's the spot, but what I do agree with the sentiment that you had, or the way you phrased the application of his devil fruit reawakening his heart. I could see that sentiment, but
I think that's just specific to him.
I think for me personally, in the Kaido versus Doflamingo fight, I think the thing to consider is that, again, Birdcage, I think, adds something to the equation. It doesn't give Doflamingo the edge, but it definitely gives him time to try and find a solution. Mm-hmm. And there again, going off the point Detroit made, it didn't get shown, so we'll never know.
That's fair.
Technically, Doflamingo's still alive, and we don't know if Kaido's still alive. So you're saying
Kaido dead as fuck.
Kaido confirm it. He's not confirmed dead.
Oh, in the manga, they definitely hit the bottom of the ocean. Him and Biggie.
I remember them being in lava. I don't remember them being in the ocean.
He was at the bottom of a lava pit. I seen that manga.
No. Luffy put that boy through the crust, and he came out in the ocean. Both of them did. They down there. I don't think they're coming back.
I gotta go relook at that then. Let me.
That was in the manga.
I can verify. Kaido and Big Mom are definitely in the ocean.
Okay, so then they're definitely dead.
Yeah, them boys bubbles.
You heard it here first. Spoiler alert: they're dead.
Big spoiler.
Dead AF. Nah,
boys down there. Sonic music.
Most definitely they did.
Oh Lord!
All the rings is on the floor though. Ain't nobody getting them. Well, except maybe Kid, but you saw what happened to him.
Oh, Captain Useless Kid.
Nah, he was gonna do something, and then Shanks said, with my Sharingan eye, I can see the future."
All right,
listen.
Let's go.
The fact.
Let's go. Next one.
Nah, we're not quite done yet. Going off this one point I just want to make, Kid is absolutely useless because anybody dumb enough to think Kaido himself didn't want the smoke. And Kid, after losing to Kaido, was like, "Nah, I got this."
You don't. Bro hit you with the non-dominant arm and your whole crew got
like Luffy, one of the strongest in the worst generation, had to have to beat Kaido. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Now, to satisfy Love and Main, we'll move on to the next one.
Yes.
Last, but in no way least, we're talking about Yusuke Urameshi from the Chapter Black arc. Yusuke Urameshi from the Chapter Black arc versus Vigilante Izuku Midoriya.
Oof.
Love and Main, let me have it.
Why? Why are we making this man try to fight a demon? He ain't got nothing for no.
Yeah.
But wait. What about gear shift, bro?
He's gonna gear shift himself into a back fist. Like he got him at the front.
But if he lands even one hit on Yusuke, if he touches him with Black Whip just once, that's enough for gear shift to activate and to stop his momentum and slow him down.
I definitely believe that would really hold him.
I mean,
I don't think that would hold him. Don't get me wrong. Am I saying that it can't, bother him some or slow him down a little? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I definitely don't think it will
So-
stick for long.
Him using his demon form was Ryzen taking over his body.
Yeah.
So we're talking strictly just Yusuke.
Okay.
So while he does have access to demon energy,
Mhm.
the work that he put in on Sensui was with Ryzen's help.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we're only talking about Yusuke having demon energy, not when he shot that man's out of the sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. With that clarification, I think I still gotta go Yusuke
That's respectful.
because Yusuke, like, even though we all know that young Midori is smart as shit, so is Yusuke as far as battle IQ. Yusuke is not no dummy. If he sees you do some type of glitch tactic to where he's like, oh, what was that? Nah, fuck that spear finger. Boom, boom.
But the caveat to that is now granted, Yusuke is before I start, let me let you finish and let Klepto go because I'm gonna be long-winded.
I gotta give it to Yusuke, but it's not gonna be an easy Farley battle.
All right, Klepto.
There's only one right answer to this question, but for the sake of argument's sense, I'll try to break it down as best as I know how.
Okay.
Vigilante Deku is, to me, that is him in his most versatile form. That is access to the powers. That is not only access to the powers, that is using multiple powers at one time, mixing how he uses the powers, mixing the capacity at which he uses one for all. Like, this is like Deku and peak, like, everybody getting a hands form. You know what I'm saying? But Yusuke Urameshi is all hands all the time. 1,000% of the time. He's ready to scrap at all times. And there's just, I don't see Deku hanging with Yusuke at all in the fight. Like, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I could give Deku Eri-chan on his back at 100% max output for like the next 10 minutes, and I still think Yusuke would be like, what's up? What's next?
Because like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but even in like the training that Yusuke has gone through, it doesn't his spirit is stronger. It means like he is like it's stronger himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time they do fight, he invokes his spirit upon his fist and everything to land punches and so on and so forth. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We're not even talking about spirit wave technique.
Yeah, I didn't even mention any of his techniques. I think it's straight strapping.
But that's what I'm saying. Still, like, but that does happen, though. Like, he does invoke spirit wave, and okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah, all right.
But it's just straight scrapping. Deku can't hang.
I agree. Just off of, I mean, we've seen Yusuke body people he not supposed to. What the 4 sworn lords of the tower? He bodied them.
Same beast. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys. Broke Buddy flute and everything. Toguro thought it was gonna be something sweet. He said, "If you don't come to the tournament, I'm killing your whole family." Buddy went further beyond. Yankai, quote unquote, died. And Yusuke said, "Bet, I'm taking the limiter off." He said, huh?
But it wasn't until Kuwabara died that Yusuke was really cool. Like, look, I don't even care anymore. Just know I'm erasing you from existence. Like, you're not gonna exist anymore.
And that Yusuke is a planet buster. That Yusuke would pop the earth like a small blueberry if he absolutely needed to. Deku, even in his most versatile with all the powers of one for all, he's not equipped to deal with something like that. And unfortunately, we saw it even in his own show. Whilst there were incredible quirks, he still had to play defensively with Shigaraki. Granted, I know that's within the context of him not wanting to kill him, But assuming that he did, if Shigaraki got an arm on him and lifted his fingers, Deku would be gone.
Yeah.
And he didn't have an answer for that at all.
Yes, he did.
What was the answer for Decay?
The answer for decay is Black Chain. Because if all I have to do is get your entire. Now, this is not my answer for the current death battle. I just want to clarify this one thing. With regards to Shigaraki, Izuku threw that match. Because if he had been fighting to win, Shigaraki would have been embarrassed. Because as soon as he launched in, he could have literally pulled a DBZ and just straight, cool, hand through the chest, you're done. I have your heart now. If he'd been fighting with if he had All Might's mentality, that wouldn't have even been a proper matchup.
That's true.
And
now, can we say for sake of argument, that's the mentality he would have against Yusuke?
Which one? The mentality he had versus Shigaraki, or the mentality?
No. The mentality he would have, like, say, if he were stepping into an All Might position.
Okay, so let's say
Yusuke is
he could never have that mentality. If you're thinking truly about the character's narrative, him and All Might have two different mentalities, because All Might did not care. Yeah. All Might would absolutely impale someone through the chest if they were on some Shigaraki type stuff. Like, he didn't have any holds bar. He absolutely, when he fought All For One, was like, I'll kill you, and it ain't gonna be pretty. And didn't worry about the consequences. He was like, I'm gonna let this death be on my conscience and not give 2 tears in a bucket about it. Like, it is what it is. I'm still the number one hero, and everybody's getting a and the fact that you can still smile like that after you knowingly attempted to kill someone is crazy. But I am going to give edge to Yusuke Urameshi, but I have a couple of caveats. So, going off of the comment that you made, Spirit Wave by itself, not even including Yusuke's strength level in the chapter Black Arc, before he died and assumed his demon energy, even before that, a Yusuke Dark Tournament is washing Deku. Because the strength is just not comparable. Right. All Might could not have beaten Toguro. Let me say that now.
Nah.
Because if you tried to say that even if you put quirks on the same level as spiritual energy, which they're not, but let's just say for sake of sakes, you put them on the same level. Absolutely, Yusuke has fighting down to a science. That's the only thing this man cares about. And Deku does not have, like, he practiced kicks before going to bed at the dorm. Yusuke was out here fighting people because I felt like it.
Grown ass men.
Yes. Grown men that should be stronger than him. And he was just like, yeah, I'll break you for funsies with no spiritual energy. None. Beyond that, Deku does not have an answer for Yusuke's durability. There just isn't, there's not a quirk in his arsenal that competes with that. Now, you could make the argument that if Yusuke is fighting with intention to kill in a death battle, does Danger Sense take effect? But I think even with Danger Sense, the problem with Danger Sense in and of itself is, Midoriya might know that it's coming, but he doesn't have the reaction time of Yusuke. Yusuke in both the manga and in the anime has an entirely different reaction speed than Midoriya has. And it's not by a close margin. Because the opponents they fought, like within the realm of My Hero Academia, they're still moving at what rationally be accepted as human speed. Yusuke was fighting demons, bro. Like you're fighting fictional characters out here.
Never mind the other spirit detective, the retired one.
Not even that, T, but think about it. he may have danger sense. You may be able to see where something is coming from, but you cannot sense where spiritual energy is going to come from.
That isn't. He doesn't have to sense the. He doesn't have to sense the spiritual energy. When his life is put in danger, it acts like Spidey sense. Because that's where Horikoshi got it from.
Right, but even Peter Parker had trouble. Go ahead. Go ahead.
When Peter Parker was shot at with blasts, whether they be Electro shooting electric energy, whether it be Captain Marvel shooting her energy blasts at him, whether it be missiles, what have you, the spider sense still went off.
Right.
The difference being is that he has the reflexes of a spider in human form.
Right.
And a spider has much faster reaction time than a human being.
Right.
So although Midoriya would not be able to sense the spiritual energy, if there was something that was going to cause him to be unalived, I'm gonna ding, 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 ding. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. But then he would just die. It would basically be like what happened to Tom Holland in Endgame. I don't feel good. My tummy hurts. I'm dust.
Don't do my boy like that.
I'm just saying, that's essentially would be what it is if Yusuke were to shoot a spirit wave at him.
Yeah.
I think going even beyond that, because I had this debate with someone else recently, and they made the argument, well, okay, Midoriya can fly. I said, you know that Yusuke could just pull some Dragon Ball type stuff, like original Dragon Ball, rip a tree out of the ground, throw it, and fly it, right? Like, with absolute certainty, what are we talking about? If Yusuke wanted to fly, he's punching the ground and launching himself up. Now, he's not staying there, but Midoriya's not outrunning him in the air.
I was going to say Midoriya's not staying in the air either.
Because it's float. Because he has to use other quirks to also use, like Fajin.
No, I meant once Yusuke gets in the air, Midoriya is not staying in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, even a shotgun is going to be difficult for Midoriya to deal with because, I mean, it's not going to be similar to what Lady Nagant did to Midoriya. Like, a shotgun thrown at Midoriya is going to put him down. Because that's equivalent to Yusuke's hits in a smaller dose, but so far spread out that Midoriya throwing up smokescreen isn't solving that. Him using gear shift to get out of the way is not going to make it quick enough for him to escape the range of shotgun. Right. The Spirit Wave enhances all those moves when Yusuke uses it. Now, granted, there's a build-up time for Spirit Wave. It's not instantaneous.
Right.
But if we're talking Chapter Black, he's trained with the Spirit Wave at that point, and not to say that he has mastery of it at that point, because that didn't occur until until he goes to Demon World and begins training under Ryzen. That's when, at that point, Yusuke's mastered it. Like, he had to master it in order to be able to even attempt fighting Ryzen. Along with that, Midoriya just don't got that. He don't got that dog in him. Yusuke's got that dog in him. He's like, oh, you think you wanted to fight a death battle? I'll kill you. I'll make it like an accident. Nobody will ever know.
That's crazy.
Now,
for real.
Death battles aside, we are going to move on to the final two segments, and the first one being our anime question of the week. So for our anime question of the week, we have, what canon devil fruit would you want in real life? Love and Main, lay it on me.
It's two of them I think I would use. I can't really decide between the two of these, and that's the smoke fruit and the ice fruit.
Okay.
Only because, like,
so Aokiji and Captain Smoke.
Yeah, I never been ice skating, but I definitely would go ahead and just step out on the ocean and just.
You just see D doing Swan Lake in the Gulf of Mexico.
No.
So those are the ones I'm going with for sure.
All right, Klepto.
Me, it's gonna be Kaido's devil fruit, not the dragon fruit. Sorry, the devil fruit, the Uo Uo no Mi model dragon, and then if not that one, then the Mero Mero no Mi, the flame fist fruit.
Hell yeah. Just out here, I'm gonna either burn everything or I'm gonna be a dragon and really burn everything.
Mm-hmm. I just want to fly, man. Yeah. Flying would be cool.
I just want to fly.
For real.
All right, Flossy B.
I'm going with the Pika Pika no Mi. I want to be a light human so I can dance on sun rays and shoot people from. Yeah.
Light speed kick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's nasty.
Dance on sun rays. For me, I think it's a tie between Doflamingo's devil fruit, the string fruit, and I'm not sure what the name of her devil fruit is, but Sugar's devil fruit. Because there are so many times for those of you who are watching this, I work as a construction worker, and there are times throughout the day when I would just be like, "Cool, you're a toy now." Oh, you're mad? Be mad as a nutcracker.
Yep. You a Christmas ornament, my boy.
Like go over there and make your weld. Go over there and try to weld that pipe with your step stool now. And by the way, nobody knows you're on this job, so you ain't getting paid now either.
Oh man. What family? They don't even remember him. He
just took this man from his family and everything.
Erased his whole existence.
I'm telling you, you couldn't give me Sugar's devil fruit because I would absolutely be an evil. There would be no morality for me anymore. I'd be like, listen, this is gonna go one of two ways, okay, big guy. I'm either gonna turn you into a toy or you're gonna do what I'm telling you. Well, it's gonna be.
Right.
And I don't have patience for nothing. Ask the other panel members if I have patience. They'll all tell you, absolutely not.
Hey, to a varying degree.
T is gonna walk up to his boss, be like, "Hey, I'm going home. You're gonna pay me for the rest of the month, or lose your existence."
Or else.
I would request $250 a day per diem, and to be employed year round in town in Houston, and I'd be like, "Oh, you're not gonna give it to me? I'm gonna touch you."
Nutcracker.
I'm already. No. For the last segment, we're going to do our anime recommendation, and I think every member of this panel can absolutely attest to the amazing plot, phenomenal world building, character exploration. I think is the fleshing out of the different characters and just really the overall chemistry of the show. I'm talking about, of course, Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh.
Rimuru Tempest. Good grief. I mean, so for those of you that don't know, it's an isekai anime where the main character, Rimuru, as he names himself when he gets reborn into the new world, just says, "Cool, I want some of this. I want some of that. I like this. I like that." And I basically want an AI that talks to me in my head and knows everything, and is super smart.
So essentially, it was interesting because in the world he was in before, it wasn't the regular world. He was like a sorcerer in that world in a way. He gets stabbed, and on his death, he makes this wish to be this anamorphous thing that doesn't feel pain. So it ends up a slime.
He was a sorcerer?
They had magic in that world, but he was like a office worker sorcerer. Like he could fix the fax machine. Like
that's crazy. You educated me because I didn't even know he was a sorcerer before getting reborn.
Well, he wasn't like good, bro. Worked in an office. He was like 33. He hated his life, and he just randomly gets stabbed by this knife attacker. And in that process, he makes this wish, like, man, if there's like a deity who's seeing this, like, I hope I never feel pain like that again because it was horrible, and I want to live a better life my next go around. and the system activates. That's episode 1. So if you haven't seen this, please go watch it. It's got everything you love about anime: the slice of life stuff, the funny stuff, the action, the drama. There's food. Of course, there's fan service, but there's like also powers and different creatures and people who got to get pulled up on because they thought, they was just gonna pull up in the Rimuru's kingdom and do bad things.
No.
Also, by the way, if those of you watching don't suggest this to your friends, we're gonna force you to eat his assistant's cooking. Watch the anime.
Watch the anime. Watch it. Watch.
But watch that though, for real.
Watch.
Not too much on the waifu.
Huh?
Not too much on the waifu. That's what I said.
Huh? You seen her food?
Nah, she can't cook. She can't cook.
I didn't say
it was purple with dinosaur claws.
Didn't say I was gonna eat the cooking. I just said not too much on the waifu. Bag up now.
No. We're gonna absolutely hate on the waifu for the atrocious food that she serves.
Yeah. Food looked like
that food is
garbage. Everybody in the house. Most definitely.
At least the
last said, y'all hungry, huh?
That she cooked, they said it wasn't horrible. Come on, man. Anyway, absolutely.
After she got her skills enhanced.
Oh my goodness. It's a fantastic anime though. Y'all should definitely watch that.
Absolutely check out I Got Reincarnated as Slime. You can find it on Crunchyroll. I believe
Hulu.
As far as I know.
Oh, it's on Hulu as well.
It's on. I believe it's on Hulu, Netflix, Crunchyroll, Funimation.
It's not on Netflix yet.
Not on fun. No.
No.
Okay.
Oh, it must be Hulu.
No,
then.
not
Hulu,
Netflix,
probably Amazon.
It's out there. Just Google it.
Yeah.
Find it.
It's out there. Check it out. With that being said, this has been another wonderful episode of the Brother Son Anime Pod. Thank you for being with us, and as always, go watch some anime.
Brother Son.
Brother Son.
It's